You see that tub there, the barge with all them shipping container? It going right. That's New York City in the far background near Ground Zero, the new building. See, Ground Zero. I go there from time to time, I bring on the footage. But the container going right there for either Target, Best Buy, and a lot more store in a mall over there. There's a mall over there now. But from this end of the beach, you can clearly see Target and others. And this is where the shipment go. However, to transfer back and forth to one store versus another. So when you see the whole heap of shipper coming in with these whole heap of shipping container, you must know what I'm talking about. See, my port in my community, Port Royal, Kingston 1, Jamaica, West Indies, is no different from what I'm talking about. As we used to shipping everything like tourism and 10 other things. So when people think I lose the best thing in life, I don't lose nothing when I lose something. No. You learn through experience, especially how I tell them about my story with the judges, them who rob and thief my house under bankruptcy discrimination, foreclosure discrimination, housing discrimination, eviction is discrimination, garnishment discrimination. Yo, this is about my blood clot retirement fund, because I could have been a multimillionaire. I was closing deal when they took away my house with my home equity. The Human Rights Commissioner had was to be helping me to deal with beneficial mortgage who was playing games, soliciting to me after lead poisoning, lead abatement under New York City, New York State, with all my creditors' money and my corporate money. 10 other bullshit. Everything I used to touch turned to gold. So when I don't have it, when people gonna thief my retirement fund, this is what I'm talking about. I need to teach generation, don't trust these courts and judges and Wall Street and banks and all others, because they will rob you blind. And the cases of harassment, willful, reckless violation, as I did file at chapter 13 as the Human Rights Commissioner says, Sonia, you're gonna have to declare it whether you want with your excellent credit or not, no. Because you try close a property, the bank will play with your equity and the pre-foreclosure, no, draw a bad card. And much, much more. You file a chapter 13, however, and when the judge them don't follow the Constitution and the law, them themselves is robbers and thief with Wall Street crime. And so on, so on. If you follow the money and check out a lot of Wall Street documentary why Department of Justice won't prosecute all these crooked ass judges, Wall Street banks, them monks. Yeah, them like monster. I could go on and on and on about damages, injury, etc., 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 etc. So sometime I told myself some time ago, as Judge Cat did dismiss my case and warned the lawyer to stop harassing me. But then when I asked her for my paperwork, she gonna say, oh, she not giving me back. A bomb threat was in the housing court that very same day, you know, sometime back in April 2001. She dismissed it and warned the lawyer on the case of harassment with what I tell her is a void sale, void deed foreclosure. How can I file chapter 13 protection, my reorganization that planned upon the thing, and you have cases of harassment with void sale, void deed foreclosure, trying to kick me out of my very home-based business asset? To keep a roof over my kids' head and all others. Because when they target my home equity, house, income, asset, yo, I was doing bed and breakfast right there under the Loot newspaper. Anybody want to check out my evidence package? Grab or go England, go tell the Loot newspaper, look up all these evidence package for me. Because I used to advertise as a bed and breakfast. We say I rent to hunger tourists coming in the country, the USA, right here in New York City, Queens, the time. So if they can't afford a hotel room for anywhere from $40 to $60 to $80 to a couple $100 or more, whether daily, weekly, as such, you can come to me and I would rent you for $25 a day. Which way that was what I was doing, renting it for $25 a day. And I used to put my money with the demo on the deposit with Astoria Saving Bank right on Hillside Avenue, New York City in Queens, New York. So I tried to warn the judge, don't mess with me. Then here came Judge Crane, did give me my reorganization plan. I sent 2 months worth of it. And would you believe the fuckers, them withdraw it. Like they know all the corruption that was going down. Like one judge versus another would call court after court with court administration and say, yo, we're messing up. We did error, we did mistake, we're doing far more willful, reckless violation to rob Miss Cole entire home-based business asset, personal asset, kids, etc. Yo, you say the asset in your house, it's considered equity. When you rebuild a house from start to finish, you know, if I did go buy 10 more pieces of land, I would have been a multi-millionaire building a house. And you can also use the equity in your house to buy new car, business, more houses to rent, etc., etc., far more. So when they think they're robbing me blind, I'm playing with my retirement fund and my life and my kids' life. Like black people mustn't have nothing for with children. And don't mention the house slave Judge Leverett with Judge Cat as a appeal Judge Cat and then supersede Judge Cat into the appeal to take over and force evict me further. Like I didn't find a piece of ex parte communication piece with Robert M. Tully. Tell the judge, you do not want to elevate her and let her know she have an appeal pending. I don't have to say nothing. Don't know one shit. Rob the world if you don't want. Because it come down to my retirement fund, and as I did tell the judges them, however long it takes, I'm coming back to soon a blood clot. Because you're doing me far wrong, you know, violating the Constitution and people, civil right and human right, and throwing me under the fucking bus like you don't want certain black people for have income asset and all other for their portfolio to retire from home equity with chapter 13 to reorganize and stop the bank with their willful reckless violation under bankruptcy discrimination. Because the judges, Judge Crane should have did more than no, including Judge Fellow. If you say how these judges behave, all the one dirty foot Judge Fellow, the white judge, him come tell me committing fraud. That's me committing fraud. You know what the fuck you telling me, Your Honor? You know who committing fraud are you trying to intimidate me over on a fraud one committing against me to steal my house and my asset? It's bankruptcy chapter 13 protection a file, not for liquidate. Where you're not going to tell me do a 7 or discriminate me further with more and more eviction from the first one that I'm talking about with Judge Gap, Judge Levy, Judge Crane. Judge Crane did give me my reorganization plan, but for Trustee Michael send me to a crooked ass lawyer, the first ever trustee you're talking. I saw his blood clot. I don't even have to tell people I didn't even walk in a court with all the different crooked ass judge like it's a gangster affair. You hear people talk about gangster war. Yo, man, fight some gangster crooked ass judge with Wall Street and bank and lawyer, Dr. Indian Chief, if you know what I mean. Fucking set of old criminals them running the court system. Like you mustn't talk about your retirement fund and more that they robbing you from. Your home equity. Equity in a home, as I said, can do far more for people. See? Can do far more for people. Can buy one more and more house, as I said. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta play fool to catch wise with these motherfuckers as they try to rob you blind. See? I'm not just playing fool to catch wise with these motherfuckers. I try to tell them this is a void sale, void deed foreclosure. Where's the bankruptcy protection with my chapter 13 where I'm being frustrated with such atrocity to rob my home equity, dismiss my bankruptcy case, foreclose, and evict me and garnish. Yo, these are more than frustration. This is injury and damages and much, much more professional negligence with all those who is involved to have done such atrocity against me and my kids. It's not just me and my kids going through this now. The problem in the United States of America or in and around the world globally. Anything affect one, affect all. Because you see, when the stock market trigger and the housing bubble or anything trigger, it trigger all over the world. So I have to tell my story to the global community platform, globally, to the world. Because what affect one, affect all. Anything affect Wall Street, affect the world. The world stock market, because everybody still a borrow from somebody. And yo, you see America, I could go on and on and on and on about the Constitution with these judges being unlawful, with the Constitution and the law that they must follow. You don't follow the law, you don't follow the Constitution, but you want to push others around and rob and thief and embezzle or home or retirement fund or income or asset or wage. These things cause housing discrimination and foreclosure discrimination, bankruptcy discrimination, what else? Job discrimination, you name it. You think I say everything and anything? I try to talk fast, but it don't run into maybe 20 minutes, however, knowing that I look on my phone and it has now show me it'll go 11, 12 minutes. So the net man them come out now for catch them bait. When these guys come out and catch bait, you know what they do with it? Cook it and all, not just fish. Back home in our community, people use bait for catch fish, but these people cook bait as food and dinner. Maybe in and around the world, people do it differently, just like them, however, you know. So why me love the beach? It's my little own private island, this now I just discover now. So when the judge them think I can't survive, I name no man is a fucking island, no man stand alone. Each man has his brothers, each man has his friend. We need one another. Anybody know that poem? Because I learned it sometime back when I was a youth in all-age school now. By the way, let me tell you some of my educational background. I went to Port Royal all-age school. I graduated. I went to Donald Quarry Secondary School. I graduated. I was told to go Dunoon, but I refused to go. So I entered CAS in Papine, Jamaica, West Indies University. It's called Art, Science and Technology in, as I said, Papine. So I went to that school. Just as much I came to New York City, I went to St. John University under video and film production. Most of my education, however, is to self-teach myself. I went to a lot of trade show, over a good 15, 20 or more years worth of trade show. Every year I used to go to different category trade show, over 100 or more different category trade show to become a partner affiliated with company to sell to the world and so forth. I ain't gonna work with all these damage and injury and much, much more. I should have already been a multi-millionaire, but fuck the money. Thank God I'm rich up here. See? Because if judges and the court system and the administrator and the so-called prosecutor with their prosecution want to rob and thief with Wall Street people portfolio. You know how hard I work like many other people? Get up every day out of my bed anywhere between 4 and coming back home from trade show on average by maybe 7:30, 8 in the night back with the E-train. I leave out with the E-train in the morning and come back at night. Because the trade show will start on average any time between 8, 9 o'clock right back till 6, 7. And sometimes it's 3 days to 4 days, 5 days a trade show. Last where they tell us they teaching us as business people to push it in our head where we don't have to go for a high school diploma, what you call it, bachelor degree. Because it's we gonna hire all those people they trying to tell us. But they trying to teach us if we're gonna be a boss, we should know what they would know as we hire them, although we're gonna have to retrain them in the workforce for what we want them to as bosses just as much. You know? I could teach a lot of things. I could teach how to go to trade show, because I learn a lot of things at trade show. See? I used to do import-export, by the way. From 1994, I do real estate investment and others with my portfolio and my corporation, Ansecure Inc. As I did use it, go to trade show. The IRS and all look like they involved in the bullshit that the bankruptcy court, the trustee and all of them, and these lawyers, investors, Wall Street bankers and Wall Street itself thieving people asset. Now I have to teach you no more. See? There's a lot of shit going on when them robbing and thieving people equity in their home and throwing them under the bus. Because at the end of the day, everybody work hard and trying to work hard to pay into their retirement fund and more. And everybody's still a taxpayers, and what affect one, as I tell you, do affect all. So I ain't freaking joking with this thieving ass judge. They want to call it error, mistake, or much more that they overlooking with the Constitution. It was a crime. But all of these judges need to put in a barrel and roll out to sea, if not in fucking prison, for not following the United States Constitution itself. The law is unlawful, and the law is an outlaw just as much as Wall Street. See? I can't talk more because I did run my own business as president and CEO, and since they want to sink me and dig a hole, bury me, and more, thank God, who God bless, no man can curse. I was a businesswoman from a child. I've been a businesswoman from age maybe what, 8? If you ask many Jamaican, I got Jamaican. Look how much people sell on the street. Look how much people, as Bob Marley would put it, set up shop. We do our own business. If we don't have a mother or a father, sometimes we have to pay the bill for our mother and our father. So you can't keep a good man down. Judge Cat, Judge Crane, Judge Jerome Fellow, another foreclosure judge. His name did start, his initial I should say maybe is GS. I must go back and look at all of my evidence package and my record history and give one of the name of judges, do some name calling on these crooked ass judge. Because it's not just me one day they're robbing, bankruptcy, foreclosure, eviction, garnishment and much more. But at the end of the day, this is about our retirement fund. And what affect we affect the worldwide bank, the stock market, the global market, internationally and around the world. I don't give a fuck what America have to say, because if they can't protect one, they're not protecting all. If they can't protect one in and around the world, they're robbing everybody and anybody. Tell the record that. I say it. I just said it. Well, these are different saga, because when I went to St. John University, I did video and film production to be a producer director. Throughout the robbery of my house, they'll give me like $12,000 worth of computer from a corporation, Ansecure Inc. At the said time, just as they'll give me, that's when the judges them was trying to fuck me over. You can imagine your kids had lead poisoning from a house that you doing your own based business and more from the city and the state with the doctor order one another to come in and compel we. If we don't fix it, we're gonna have our kids them taken away and be fined 1,000 a month, whereas they gonna call in ACS to take away our children and all these other atrocity to no comply. At the time, my ex-husband, me and him came from Jamaica, where he's a builder. I myself was a subcontractor for Caribbean Cement Company in Jamaica, West Indies. I sell to builders and handyman alike in Spanish Town and Port Royal, who is building their house and other people's houses, or fixing people's houses, or doing it for themselves. I could have had I not come to America over a good 50 house or more, because that was my sole intention, as many builders would look on me then later to say, Sonia, why don't you buy up a lot of land, and more than selling us alone, you can also build and have more houses to rent. I mean, that was my sole intention, but my husband was like a fool. He would look at me and said, when I selling cement or more, I soon make people kill him, because I sell 24/7. I'm the type of woman, when I'm working hard, nothing stop me. See, I will go on and work harder and harder and harder, because when we came to America permanently with my husband brother, Winston Maxey filing for us, it's me had was to change out most of my saving out of the bank and actually come here with 20,000 US. Because when we come, if I tell you the condition of life when we came, thank God we did bring 20,000 to buy up food and so forth. Because when we got to, if I did have a child here in 88, Dwayne, it's like when I came back, even before they didn't work it, and I was told to go to HRA, since my child born here in 88 as a visitor. So I was a visitor when I came on a visitor visa before I got my permanent residency. So it's a long story. I would have to maybe tell you how they would discriminate me and so on, with a lot of other bullshit. So I said to them, you know something, fuck it. I don't want to help me with my own child who born here until I get a job, since I just pick up permanent residency. Sometimes when you pick up permanent residency and the people them will file for you, they don't necessarily treat you with respect. For put you in a house or more. Me and my husband leave 2 houses at Jamaica. His house, my house. Thank God I didn't sell my house, because I have family. That's another saga I need to tell you. How sometimes you help people and people help themselves. Because my brother them full of shit, and I need to talk to the world about the type of family as brothers I have. You understand? These fuckers will rob and thief from you too. They will, if you don't watch them, they're worse than the fucking court and the judge. Them will rob and thief my house right here in New York City. New York City, Queens. By the way, I don't want the name and Judge Cat and Judge Levy case under my house case too. This Plaza Home LLC lawyers, investors bought my house, took it to Queens Civil Housing Court, started a case of harassment with a void sale, void deed foreclosure. And when I went, that's the first thing I asked for. I asked to be represented by an attorney. At the time, legal aids and others fucking themselves talk about budget cut with the city. They can't take people case as they discriminate who case for take from 10 other shit. So I write up my own order to show cause, and I tell the judge them this is a case of harassment. I have a chapter 13, in fact now 2, because if I did tell the second lawyer to reopen my first one with Judge Crane, nonsense or bullshit with Trustee Michael sending me to another crooked attorney, and my first attorney was crooked just as much as be a crooks in the blood clot system. Robbers and fucking thief. Everybody want a piece of you for fucking nothing. So I need to talk about it more, get it off my chest, and learn to educate people who are for lookout for, and don't trust these mother court, judges, lawyer, doctor, Indian chief. It's who can you trust? It's like you just have to put your trust in the creator. As these motherfuckers are rob you and so on, you just cut and go through and show them survival story and more. As I tell the fucking judge them, don't mess with me now. Cause you know how fucking long this gonna take. As do not thief my fucking house and not throw my kids them under the bus. Legal aids and all in the end, that was to force them and compel them to write something to another crooked ass judge, from Judge Cat to Judge Levert, the black ass house slave motherfucker with the slave master. Anybody don't like my language, pardon my language, but this is the type of robbery and atrocity people have to face right here in New York City. See, you work hard trying to build your portfolio so that you can get to retire sooner than later, and this is how these judges and court system and prosecution want wrong you, want violate you, want capture. That's why they say everywhere a blood clot capture land. See? Everywhere on this pussy clot forsaken earth. God forgive me, but I have to put it that way. You know? You trying to survive out here, and people out here forsaking you of your fucking peace. What's rightly yours, what you work fucking rightly for. You know? What you work hard and contribute for. As they think they must rob and thief and want you run. I don't run from no motherfucker. Not while I'm in the blood clot, right? Not while I did declare chapter 13 with $3,000 weekly. It's weekly? Monthly. It's $3,000 monthly I think I was getting from my house as bed and breakfast. See? Building 2 more rooms on the first floor, and I rent it to tourists and just tell them they can have access to everything, and let's share and make the place bed and breakfast. And I used to, as I get their money, run go to the bank to say I want to keep it that way as a form of evidence package if push come to shove. Like, oh, I telling my story, I must have an evidence package for sure where I was banking and why I was banking there with the rent collected. So I wasn't renting to residents of New York City. I was renting to people who travelers, to say if they can't afford once more a hotel room, let me help them, so on and so forth. I'm like going into half an hour. My camera just went into a black stage. I don't know why it turned black. I don't know if you guys going to be able to see the footage on the darkness, or it may come out back clear, precise. I don't know what went down, but it's still recording where you can see the what they call it, indicator with the count. So going into pretty much half an hour, 29 minutes, going 10-12 seconds. So let me just cut tape.